hateful videos. And it's not always a situation that if you're not on camera that you're protected. They make exceptions. And I am a US citizen, and so is he. He's got to understand that. I think he knows what I mean about that. He's not as protected as he think he is to run his mouth the way he does. Someday something's going to catch up with him. He's going to regret every fucking thing he said about me and my girlfriend and family. Because Popeye is a coward. He's always been a coward historically, especially when he thought somebody was around his town looking for him. He got off YouTube for a half a year, up to a year or more. He went into silence. He ran away. The guy that runs his mouth constantly and figures nobody's going to do nothing to me. They can't. I can say whatever I want on here. It's not necessarily true, Robert. That's not true. Maybe one day you'll find out. Does he still have a channel on YouTube? Who you making reference to? Slim from Pro Life Travel or Popeye, or who you making reference to? If you're talking about Popeye, it's called Popeye One, not WON, but One. Popeye One. I think it's just ONE. It's not a mathematical figure. I think it's Popeye One. Yeah, he does. He doesn't keep everything on there. He'll do these simulcasts of me, which he's likely doing right now, because it's approximately 5 or 6 o'clock p.m. in Florida, where it's, after 5 a.m. here in the Philippines. Very, very bitter man who's not living the life he hoped to have and hasn't had a woman since his wife divorced him, like, I don't know, a decade or two ago. I don't know how long it's been. And he comes on figuring that I could say whatever I want because I'm 15,000 miles away. Well, it's according to how you want to look at it. What does he think he can get away with? On a personal level, who the hell knows? If he insulted somebody, they could make a trip at some point to his house and face him face to face and see how brave he is. But he'll go into isolation. And there's been numerous occasions where Popeye, whose real name is Robert Clausen, has gone into hiding when he thought Rain Man, another vlogger, troll actually, and others have been in his neighborhood or implied they were going to be. And he went to hiding for half a year or more. And that's a fact. He's a coward. That's how cowards act. I'm protected because I'm over here and you're over there, and I'm not even in the same country. And I'm like 15,000 miles, whatever it might be, from here to Florida. It might be close, I don't know. And you're not going to touch me. As he'll say, there's nothing you can do, Frank, he says. There's nothing you could do. But don't be too sure of that, Robert. Yes, he is in Dumagetti. I guess he's in holding, and I just don't know if he was able to bail out. I don't have any current information on that with Pro Life Traveler. I don't have any current information on that. Well, it just looks like he's going to be sent off to the court system, and they were just addressing this on a local level in the town of Dumaguete, where he's living. It's pretty intense video. It's on there now. Go look at my last upload, which, as I told earlier, if you just tuned in, is a remix of something somebody else put on that does cover these issues of immigration. A vlogger who basically vlogs, basically giving information what's going on in the Philippines and vloggers and immigration and all those issues. And you maybe can see the whole thing if you get this channel. As I said, I think, if I'm not mistaken, on my remixes, it would say at the bottom, I guess, the source of where the information came from the channel. It usually does. You can check that out on my last upload, which is up there now. Yeah, Slim, and he's in pretty big trouble. They're labeling him, at least at the Dumaguete local law level, as persona non grata. They're pretty much, label him as undesirable. And because of the atmosphere going on with the expats, such as the Russian vlogger Vitaly, who is in a world of hurt and is still in, I guess, Bikitan detention in Manila. He's been there for a while now. It's very likely, of course, Vitaly's going to be deported and so forth. And the problem with Vitaly, the Russian, as compared to the Estonian guy, which is pro-life traveler, is that no country wants him. I believe the United States doesn't want to take him back there. His own country doesn't want to take him in Russia. He's kind of a man without a country. Pretty big stuff. I don't know what they're going to do with Vitaly. Not too much updated information on him, but he's still there, and he may have to serve. Prison time when it comes down to that. I don't know. They're just waiting for an official trial for him or something. I don't know. I got some limited information on Vitaly. I get it as it comes in. To the court trial. I'm guessing so. Well, I mean, he'll definitely be deported at some point, but they may want to give him prison time. In which case, yeah, he might be around the Philippines for a long time, but not in the comfort of his own apartment. you know, yeah. So a lot of shit is catching up with people on here, like I predicted. And there's also a lot of people that have also, here's the new word of the new generation, of the woke generation. Well, unlived. Unlived means you're dead. Just say dead or passed away or something, I don't know. New generational stuff that comes out. Of course, we come out with something called the woke generation. Out of was Generation X, there was this and that, but the woke generation, what the fuck does that even mean? Seriously. But people have to pay the price for their crimes, and the Philippines is really coming down on these foreigners. And a lot of people are deciding that I'm not going to move to the Philippines. It's just too much going on. If it's not the infrastructure that they're complaining about, but it's the fact that what they don't understand actually is you're not in your country, you're in a different country, foreign country. They have their own rules and laws and, what they deem to be, well, they're very sensitive about foreigners now and what they have to say about the country. America does that too. But here in the Philippines, it's very apparent. And people like Vitali and now people like Slim, they're really pushing the envelope with this, with immigration and Department of Justice. And They don't want to hear their country being knocked and put down all the time, and a lot of vloggers are doing that. I'm sure some of them are under suspicion and investigation as we speak. And I have an idea who actually, but no, I haven't been to jail. Don't plan to. Someone's trying to get me to go to jail, trying real hard, trying to get me deported for things that I ever did. So I can't say it's always fair in the Philippines till the facts come in. And you want to label somebody desirable, which this woman is trying to label me as an undesirable for things I never did or said about her. That's what it's all about. So immigration has come up with a resolution in my case, and they haven't been able to for a very long time. Her report went in on me, I don't know exactly when it's been, 18 months ago? It's not a court case, nothing like that. It's a complaint. It was a complaint. That's all it was a complaint. Through immigration to try to label me as an undesirable, as somebody who should be deported, which is almost laughable if you really knew me and really listened to my show and knew that I'm a entirely compassionate person to the Filipinos out here that have done some incredible stuff to help people. I'm far from being undesirable. And you want to compare me to these people, there's no comparing. You got to watch what you say out here, really. What accused? Well, I'm not going to go into the history. Let's just say that I'll give you a little history. The woman who put a complaint against me is the girlfriend or fiance of a guy named Barry Lee Jordan. If you haven't heard of him, he's all over the internet. This is a guy who was on the news as wielding a knife to a waitress to intimidate her in regarding to a bar bill that he owed in the past, that she didn't want to give him any more drinks, and he intimidated her with a knife. That was on the news, but that's not why Barry particularly is in jail. I filed 5 counts of cybercrime against him because for 4 years, I don't know exactly how long, it was a while, he'd come on his show almost every day and call me a pedophile and a child predator and stuff, which you don't do. People get killed for less than that. Okay? So what happened was his girlfriend, with the assistance of some trolls who may not like me, probably financed her to get a report in from a lawyer to submit to Department of Immigration, Board of Immigration, to try to label me as an undesirable, that I should be deported. And the reason she did it was revenge, because her boyfriend, who stood to have no future with her at all, because he's already has a deportation order, but he's being held in jail. Further, he's been in jail for 3 years now, and she knows that there's no opportunity to have a life with him. It upset her, but he pleaded guilty to 5 counts, so he's guilty. He pleaded guilty, and nobody put a gun to his head to tell him to plead guilty. He's guilty as charged, but she's not happy about it. So her and with the help of some outside sources, put some money together to get a lawyer and write up this report on me. Of course, I have a copy and I have a lawyer. Call it an affidavit saying I called her a whore and a prostitute and a whole bunch of shit that she fears for her life. I never even met the woman. She's been seen in parks singing and dancing, and she's claiming to have PTSD because of me, which is really strange. I never met her. She's just a boyfriend of Barry Lee Jordan. I've got the video on there if you want to see it. It's on one of my shorts. It's a lady who's walking through a red trellis, kind of a awning type of thing in a park, and she's dancing to this ethereal music. It's on there. Go look for it. Who claims that she has post traumatic stress syndrome from me, that she's suffering psychologically from me. I've never met her. And it's just that she's the boyfriend of him, and her plans by her own boyfriend, really, not really by my fault for reporting him, are foiled. And she's upset about it. And it's getting very ugly because I think she knows at this point, whatever direction this takes, that there could very well be a case against her for harboring, aiding, and abetting him when he was running away from immigration for 7 years, as witnessed by agents who came to arrest him. That's all down. So she's a little bit concerned at this point, understandably. But, you know, my famous saying is that I fired some warning shots to Barry. He didn't listen and he continued, and that's why he's where he is. And I'm firing some shots up in the air for her, saying that you got to make things right. You got to talk to immigration. You got to tell them that you made a mistake putting that report in, and all will be fine and dandy. I won't go any further than that. That's where it stands right now. I'm kind of a political prisoner in my own house in a way. Administratively, that is, they're not allowing me to be legal here. They're not allowing me to pay my fees and all that stuff because it's under an administrative hold. And what that simply means is that it's not that I'm not cooperating with my visas and everything. I've always been. What's called an administrative hold because until they come to a resolution with this complaint, and it's not a case, it's a complaint, mind you, that I can't continue living here legally like I have been and paying my visas and so forth. They're not allowing me to do that. Loser says, and I agree with you, she should be thanking me for getting rid of Barry. Yeah, not putting a report on me. She has no reason to do that other than revenge. But in all honesty, and I'm not trying to stick up for her at all, this is a serious matter. I think she was pretty much enticed to do this under pressure. And she should explain that to the immigration. They'll understand. I'll even stand behind her. I'll go that far, but she has to make the move. I think she has to contact my lawyer or directly immigration person, something, and sign a paper saying that she's going to retract her complaint. And whether they'll accept that or not, I really don't know. The damage is already done. But I think she could. And I guess if she was a wise woman, she would probably, well, let's just say she probably should do that in light of the fact that the proverbial can of worms was opened and there could be a lot of recourse against her for filing such a report, legal recourse. And I seriously don't think she wants to get involved. It doesn't look good for her. You know, Filipinos like to save face. They don't want to be known to be going to court for something, nevertheless losing her boyfriend to legal matters. Sometimes people just don't understand the ramifications of what they do. And she's one person apparently does not understand the legal ramifications of perjury and harboring, aiding, and abetting an overstaying immigrant. I guess she doesn't get it, but she might sooner than she thinks. But I did put a show out the other day, and I did say that if she does go to immigration and makes an effort to retract and redact and all that good words, her invalid complaint all will be right with the world and we'll go on with our lives. It's a very serious matter when you make allegations against somebody that are not true. Bad things seem to happen to these people, legally, of course. I don't advocate violence. I'm not going to beat up a woman. I never even met her. I never even physically met her. She wouldn't even attend Barry's hearings. She never even attended. She didn't want to face me. She's never attended a court hearing that Barry had. She never even came to support him. Nope. She didn't want to see me, is what it was. A little guilty, perhaps, but she didn't support him in that way. She did not come to his court hearings. Not one. So much for support. For a woman that's supposed to be in love with this man, and it don't matter why she's in love with a guy or whatever she sees in him, it's her thing. It's her thing. Whoever turns her on, Barry turns her on some way, fine. To each his own, I guess. But that's none of the concern. The concern is that she put an unqualified, invalid, perjurious report in on me. Again, it's a complaint. It's not a court case, but it's going to wind up being a court case, one way or the other. Whether it's something I'm going to have to go to because of her complaint or the very fact that she put an untrue, unqualified complaint in on me. And the reason we're rehashing all this stuff is because of the fact of the atmosphere of what's going on YouTube these days with pro-life, traveler, and so forth. So it's kind of worth talking about. There's a lot of shit in the news these days, and pro-life is the newest. But I have a feeling that eventually things are going to be happening with Heidi from Philippines Antics. I have a good feeling about that one. Could very well. So Al has been kind of pushing the issue with her. And as such, it has an effect that, well, kind of a domino effect. Where other people get wind of this and what she actually did and how the hell did she get into this country when she's a felon. And people always assumed that immigration was more proactive with investigating people that come into this country to make sure that they should be in this country because they don't want more criminals in the country. But she came in the Philippines at a time when, I don't know, what you want to call it, they had their guard down. They weren't really investigating people that were coming into this country, like Brevis and people like that. But they're more into it now. They're sort of getting their shit together now, more so than when she came into the country. I still don't know really how she got in. Loser says, I would think it would be regular guy, Heidi, and hopefully eventually Ricky. Well, regular guy is pretty much keeping up what goes on YouTube, and he's been toning it down just like Slim tried. And a lot of things that regular guy has done, I would have to agree with you. Because basically he has an attitude of women. I think he really looks down on women because he hasn't been able to get many women since he's ever been out here. And he's invading their personal space with his camera in their face, all these women. A lot of them are lady boys also, it doesn't matter. Shoving his camera in people's faces all over Walking Street and other places. Because people just don't learn until something happens to them. That's the only way they learn. unfortunate it has to come down to that. But in many cases, it does come down to that. As we're seeing now, highly political atmosphere going on YouTube. There are people that are being investigated that don't even know they're being investigated. I'm not going to go more into that. You know, it's the people like Ricky that has to worry about a few things, I think, because he's done a lot of horrible things in the Philippines to a lot of people, including Michael Fazio, where he actually did get physical with him, slapped an elderly man with his fist while he was doing a live show, actually came to Bohol, took a hotel right next to him, and while Fazio was doing a live show, snuck up behind him, he gave him a couple of hard slaps. Of course, it went to court. Ricky only did 4 days in jail, but Ricky doesn't understand that's on record. So that anything he does in it, that could be used against him in a court of law. It didn't go anywhere, and he spent 4 days in jail. What transpired between him and the prosecutors of the court, I couldn't tell you if money was involved or anything like that. I have no idea. But it's on Ricky's record. It will always be on there. Hold on. Oh, that's hot. So, Ricky's not exactly innocent at all. He knows it. Ricky is a radical type of person, as proven. No disclaimer needed on any of this talk about Ricky. He's presented his videos, his political views, how he went on a rampage on some kind of a conference that was going on publicly, I don't know, with Hillary Clinton or whatever, and practically had to be restrained. And all the name calling he did to these political people in America, it's just totally insane. Totally insane. But that's who we have on YouTube. There you go. That's the kind of people we have on here. People that think they can get away with just about anything they want, but it's not. It's been proven that they can't. They think they can get away with a whole lot of shit, but in the end, it doesn't always work out the way they want to, or they hoped for anyway. But some people just don't learn. And the only way they learn is, well, obviously, have to go to court or be deported or go to jail, be incarcerated. And that's maybe the message they need to receive. The Philippines government means business out here. Now, sure, they're allies of Americans, but if you're an American, it don't matter where you come from, but they're not going to give you any special sauce in court because you're American, because we're allies, because America's done so much for the Philippines. Don't work that way. You break the law here, they're going to come down on you. So you think you'll be a regular guy, Heidi, and hopefully eventually Ricky. Look, things will catch up with people eventually. They always do, historically. You know, we could only hope. Sorry, I'm trying to eat some very hot oatmeal, maybe a little bit too hot. I don't know, something's missing. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. But your opinions are welcome on my show. I'm willing to listen to what you have to say about all these issues. I don't have a problem with that. You know, it's been no picnic for me. I can tell you that. It's not been a picnic for me. But as you can see, I'm doing shows. I'm not running away from anything because I have nothing to run away from. I'm still here. I'm still doing shows. If I was guilty of something, I wouldn't even be doing anything on social media at all. Now I kind of wonder what's happening with Slim's girlfriend right now. Whatever she is to him. They don't make much mention. But she's an accomplice, though. This is what I don't understand. She's an accomplice. Maybe because she's Filipino, they'll let her get away with some shit. She's a definite accomplice to her videos, to his videos. She knew exactly what he was doing. Well, it's according to what their arrangement is in this relationship. Maybe she didn't know some of the things he was actually doing with these girls. He just assumed it was an innocent thing. He'll take him to waterfalls, all that stuff to make the show so he can make money. We don't know the extent of her involvement. We don't know. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm just saying. Yeah. Mr. R.U., whatever. I can't go into the whole history. It's too long. But she certainly would be deemed to be an accomplice in pro-life travelers situation. Personally, I didn't like the way she was treating this kid, the baby. All right, Nick, easier. Where are you from, Nick? You're a newbie on here. And I was getting a laugh on Nico's experience. He did a show recently, kind of sort of addressing some of the shit that people going around suing everybody, this and that. No, he doesn't get involved in that shit. He says some pretty crappy shit on YouTube too. Nico's experience, otherwise known as Snicko. They're all guilty of something, Oh, Germany. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Yeah. Man, I don't know how I could sum up YouTube. I talk about it all the time and it goes on, but I can't completely sum it up. It's just a place where people let loose and they feel that, they can say anything they want and get away with it. They could be on the other side of the world and figure you're not going to touch me. How could you touch me? I'm on the other side of the world. I can say anything in the world I want about you. It doesn't always work out that way, though. Not always. Well, there's a lot of people who get away with a lot of shit on here, man. I could name names, but sooner or later things catch up with you. As history has proven. Ooh, that oatmeal went fast. No tea this morning. I'm trying something for a week. All I had was some room temperature water with a little bit of calamansi, lime really, put in it. That's it. I didn't put anything in, but I did put some cinnamon in my cereal, though. Okay, I gotta put this shit away. Pardon me. I tend to always seem to be occupied doing things while I make my show. Because life does go on. There's things sometimes I gotta do. I'll probably be the one to do the dishes here. Well, I'll let them do it. So that's some of the breaking news in regards to Slim. Did I see this coming? Of course I. You know me. I saw that coming a mile away. Some things are just very predictable. When you have that kind of continued behavior on here, I listened to some Popeye on videos and he almost sounds like you. What do you mean he almost sounds like me? You mean the voice, or you trying to make a negative implication or something? No, you don't know the history of Popeye. Trust me, you don't. He's like one of the most bitter people in YouTube history. Because he ain't getting no wussy. He hasn't had a woman in a couple of years. A couple of decades, excuse me. So-called Army or Navy hero. False valor. Same voice? Hardly. Well, we're both Americans. No, we don't have the same voice. Not even close. His is a lot more groggly than mine. Because he drinks and both smokes and drinks. I smoke. I don't drink. Having a cigarette right now as I'm talking to you. I don't drink. He's all dried out and dehydrated. You were irritated about what? Don't speak cryptically. Put a full sentence or paragraph. What irritated you? I always give my commenters a chance to explain themselves. Oh, we got the cow right across the field, right here. You are irritated that you are two persons? That doesn't make any sense. How could you be irritated that we are two people? I don't understand that. That you are two different persons, two different. Oh, we are very different. Very different. I'll assure you of that. We're very different people in every respect. We are not alike in any form or way. Looks, reputation, and a lot more. Because you said it is your opponent. Well, he's not a friend. He's not a proponent. He's just an evil, bitter man that can't go back to the Philippines because a lot of enemies.
because he's cutting put cheap and because he knows he wouldn't succeed. He's also probably a bit immobile. My understanding that he has to use a mobility scooter. There's a lot of reasons. He couldn't make it in America to find a woman. His only activities are going to bingo and occasionally going to a casino. Never talks about friends, going out with friends or anything. Don't have people visiting him. He hasn't left Florida. I don't ever heard of him ever going anywhere other than Florida. But the show's not about Popeye, but it's in general about these trolls and so forth. Both Americans and smoky voice. I don't know what you consider a smoky voice. There's something like a gravelly voice that Popeye has. But he's one of these guys who smokes Camels unfiltered, That'll do its job on you. This is just my voice. My voice has been like this for a long time. Some people like my voice. But I've never been told I have a gravelly voice. But whatever. Smoking can take toll on your larynx. It certainly can. I'm not saying it can't. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Talking about who smokes and who doesn't. But getting back to the original purpose of the show is to just give a little information of what was happening with Slim. And it's not looking good for him at all. They pretty much label him as persona non grata. Look it up. The meaning of that, it's pretty much that, he's actually is an undesirable. That shouldn't be in the Philippines. And I would agree with immigration to stuff like that. If you really are an undesirable, but somebody's trying to label me as such and try to get me deported, which is totally uncool. It's uncool because of the fact that none of the allegations were proven. None of it was real. It was all made up, and it just had to do with an act of revenge. Not facts, but revenge. This is different. So hopefully you understand what's going on without me having to spend another hour trying to kind of enlighten people that are not totally enlightened as to what's been going on YouTube. You listen around, you'll learn. You got people doing shows out there and putting out information that never really happened because they're trying to build up their channel and they ran out of topic matter, so they got to rehash the old topic matter again. Or they got to make up stuff and stories that never existed about people, events, and so forth. Because they got to keep the money coming in, they got to get the views coming in. A lot of people do what we call clickbait on here with their titles of their show pertaining to something, and they never wind up talking about it just to get the viewers to hear their whole show so they could get the watch hours in and so forth. The vape thing is the baddest, I think. Yeah, vaping has proven not to be very healthy. Not more any healthier than some people think it's even worse. I always thought it was just so odd. I'd see, I saw a car parked with some people in it. I seen this huge, you think a volcano went off, this huge plume of smoke coming out the window. I thought there was a fire in the car. But it was this guy who was vaping. Because vaping, it just puts this big old mist of fog, it's just incredible. Not compared to cigarette smoking, and it just envelops the whole inside of the car. It reminds you of something on the movie Up in Smoke, where they're smoking this big old fucking doobie about 2 inches thick, and the car is just radiating with smoke coming out of the windows. You think the car was on fire. That's the way it is with vaping. I don't know, kids think it's cool, but it's really not. Slim has given his vape to a young boy. Did he? I don't know. I wasn't aware of that. Apparently, you're following him. You might know more things than I do. Did he give a vape to a kid? I don't know. I don't know if that was on the report. I don't think they have that. Maybe they should know that. He gave a vape to a kid? Yeah, I don't recall that, but that's interesting. Really? Really, as he says, really? That's crazy. God, giving a vape to a kid? What hasn't he done? Really? I'd like to see that video. Wish I had a link to it if he still has it on. So his shows are still on there, but he deleted all the videos that have to do with younger women, underage, touchy feely things. There's a lot of things he erased, but now that hearing in Dumageddon did not mention in detail that about what he did with these underage women. Just, pretty much inappropriate behavior, blah, 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 but they didn't go into detail. Maybe that's going to come out. And the official mentioned it on the court asking today. The one that I produced, okay, I have to really investigate that. They mentioned it on the court asking today. Well, listen to that dude's channel. I'm sorry, his name just doesn't come offhand. I do listen to him. I think he's on my subscription list, and that's how I get his feeds. And he just did something, his most recent one on Slim, and I provided that information to my viewers on this morning's upload. As I said, it was a remix of part, and I only mean part, of what they were saying at this Dumageddon court with a prosecutor present and so forth. So it was just a remix. You're only allowed like 60 seconds on a remix, I should have linked it out or something on there, but you can go to this guy's channel, something Asia, whatever. He's fairly popular. People listen to him. Official mentioned it on court asking, saying, without permission. Well, this guy was, referring to Filipinos as monkeys, and it's just like Barry Jordan. If they were to get him on more charges, if I were to pursue this a little bit longer, he'd be not going anywhere. He won't see the day of light for 20 years. If I was to pursue all the other evidence of his death threats to me and all that stuff, he wouldn't see daylight for at least 20 years. I kind of did him a favor. We had basically stuff built up on Barry other than his particular cyber libel charges. We have all the evidence of his death threats to me and all that. I could have pursued this. I did him a favor. You don't even realize it. I was happy with the outcome. I still am. But he doesn't realize how much I did him a favor. I mean, the fact that he was walking the streets, he was lucky, put it that way, prior to his being incarcerated. That's all I'll say on that. But I did him a big favor because we had all the evidence. We had all the video evidence of all the death threats he made to me. So he would have been in a real world of hurt if I would have pursued that and taken it all away. He doesn't just owe me 250,000 pesos as provided by the court, but he owes me a lot more than that when you think about his freedom, because I could have very easily pursued the debt because we had to be a separate case, which means more money. And I would have put it out. But I said, let me just figure where this is going with his case. And since he pleaded guilty, I didn't find the need to have to do another case. I still could at any point in time. I still could. Don't get me wrong. I could still do that right now, today, if I wanted to. I got the evidence, but I just figured just leave it alone. He's been in jail for 3 years already, so, it works for me. Didn't have to drag it out. He pleaded guilty, so we didn't have to drag it out. And who knows how long it would have taken and what the judge's decision would be. whether he's going to put Barry in jail for set amount of time or there's no guarantee. There's no guarantees in life. There's no guarantee what the judge would say. It probably would have wound up that way, but I figured, why prolong the agony? Why prolong the case and just let him plead guilty, which he did. Guilty as charged. He's a felon now. And as such, yes, he will be deported. He already has a summary deportation from several years back. But because everything that happened in between, he's incarcerated and they had to keep him there until they figured out what they're going to do with him. He pleaded guilty and it went on from there, and he's still in jail. I imagine he's going to be out pretty soon because there's only a limited time they could keep him in there for not paying the judgment against him, which was fines of. He got away cheap on that too, and he should thank me. Only 250,000 pesos penalty to the court and 250,000 payment as restitution to me. He got away easy, but he still refuses to pay that, so that's why he's in jail longer. That's exactly why. And then anything in between that I don't even know about, how he's behaving in detention, has he gotten into trouble in there? That could give him more time, and it's going to make immigration, or DOJ keep him in there a longer time. They could do whatever they want. Where I think he should have been out by now, because they only allocate about 6 months, which I've talked about on here. It's called subsidiary punishments when a court issues you're already in jail, right? You're already in detention, and the court issues a judgment saying that you got to pay us, you got to pay the country 250,000 pesos in restitution to the complainant of 250,000, which is cheap. It's just fucking dirt cheap. And he refuses to pay that. I don't have the ability to pay it. But his heroes are not helping him out. The high roaders out there, they're not helping him out. Nope. But he'll help his girlfriend out, though, because she's female. They're certainly willing to help her out. Like the possibility, quote, and with a disclaimer, that they have been contributing to, let's say, her cause financially to get the lawyer and to push the issue. It's not out of the question. Nope. I'm sure there's been some outside interference on this. I'm positive of it. I can't say for sure, so that's why I'll say disclaimer, and I'll say allegedly assisted her financially for this case. Excuse me, it's not a case, it's a complaint. So there you go. All right, you whippersnappers. Breaking news. More to come. And let's keep abreast of the Trump situation. That's pretty volatile. That guys in the world have heard people are protesting in major cities against Trump and his regime. Big time. I can definitely predict Trump's future. And everybody's turning around their MAGA hats or putting it in the closet. There's a lot of people that will not wear it in the street anymore. They're in fear of being attacked. But not really, because the people that are against Trump, they're not violent. There were 2 attempts on his life by a sniper that didn't work. Obviously, that person wasn't very happy with Trump and his administration, but he missed by this much. But basically, they're peaceful protests, but they are speaking up to the ICE agents, which we now identify as Trump's Gestapo warriors. The Gestapo, the new age Gestapo. That's all they are. They got evidence now that shows that woman did not do anything in the car. Dude, I'm just trying to, whatever she said to them. I'm not here to start trouble, She's driving through, but they said they tried to run him over. The guy was unjustified for killing her. He even recognized her to be a lesbian. She had a partner, but they're going to use that against her too because she's a lesbian. So she's a lesbian. That's a sexual lifestyle that she chooses, not a reason to shoot a woman. She didn't do anything. She wasn't trying to ram the police with her car. Nothing. They got more video of it now. The guy was not justified to use deadly force. Yeah, mother of 3 kids. There's no reason for that. They're really taking the law in their own hands. But the person behind it is Trump. He's saying, do whatever you have to do, kill him. He has no problem talking about killing Trump. He has no conscience. He has no empathy at all. But, relax, folks, because they got so much on Trump and it goes so many directions. He already has 30 felony counts against him from prior things. And then there's all the Epstein files, and they're trying to redact all the information from there, and he's paying people off not to bring this out. He was given a certain amount of time, 30 days, whatever, to produce this material, and they didn't cooperate. Only little bits and pieces of it are coming out, but the victims are coming forward too. Yeah, Trump's in a world of hurt. Yeah, he stepped. Yeah. We got more video now because there's more video now proving. Even called her a bitch. She wasn't calling him names or nothing. She was just driving through. No, she was supporting at the rally, I think, but she was not in the field doing anything wrong. She was just driving her car out, and he shoots her in the head. I assume it was in the head. Yeah, ends her life, and she has children. How sad is that? In some ways, we're glad we have policemen because who do you call when you're in trouble? You call the local PD, right? And a lot of them do their job, and they do it very well. And be very happy that there's some kind of law organization that you could call and say, I got something going down here and I need help. But unfortunately, everybody's become so corrupt. And under the Trump administration, they're in fear that if they don't do things his way, he wants absolute power. That's what he wants. And he's even freeing criminals that need to be in prison. He's even pardoning hardcore criminals. What's the justification for that? Apparently, he feels he needs no justification. He wants to go against everything that is opposed to him and what he does. But there's not a day that goes by. We have lots of these independent news stations. I watch Midas Touch, and that's one of them I watch. He's got almost 6 million subscribers. Dude's making like 27 million a year. It's him and his 2 brothers. He's got affiliates now, has an office in Washington, D.C. The guy's doing some God's work. Trump, he's at an advanced stage, and, everybody's speculating about his health conditions. And, that could be a deterrent in his life, his health conditions. And, may not be able to have to do anything to Trump, just let him die naturally. And the nation will cheer. I cheer. But he's going down. Look at his popularity votes. It's like non-existent. I mean, Republicans are going the other way now. Red states are turning into blue states, Congress people, senators, and so forth, turning the other direction. He doesn't have a snowball's hell and chance to continue his presidency the way I'm seeing things right now. Okay, I've been on here for a while. You got to give Popeye a chance to do his little soliloquy. Sick bastard he is. The unsung hero, Popeye Robert Clausen, who has a lot to say about things, has a lot to say about me. But we already know about Popeye and what he's all about, so we understand. He just attracts the trolls because they want to go to a channel that's going to knock me or somebody. Because they have nothing else better to do. But like I say, they're not laughing with him; they're laughing at him. He's free entertainment. As fucked up as he is in his mind, and we have a lot of people out there just like him. But you know what? I got to go. I've eaten already. I got to do a little bit of exercise and maybe finish the rest later. I just haven't been the past 2 days. Been doing anything. Been feeling a little under the weather. Not bad. I feel good now. Um, but I'm just still trying to figure out if I got a UTI. And hopefully today I'll get my report this way I can get some antibiotics for it. I'm not thinking I have, though. But we'll see. I suspect that I do have because of frequent urination, which is an indication on that. I'm not burning or nothing like that, but it also has to do with some extraneous stuff that I do because my famous tea every morning I have to reduce it a few days a week. Just the caffeine in there and the elements, and plus the stuff I put in my tea are all great stuff to put in the tea. It's perfectly wonderful, actually. They all have a purpose, but some of them will act as uh,
All right, there you go. Oh man, I tell you, oh boy, oh boy, I tell you, his Popeye bashing was not at its best today. It just was not. I mean, it was kind of solemn, kind of mundane. I mean, he left out the pizzazz and all that stuff. Uh, all right, welcome in Mike Oxlong and Steve 25901. Mike Dowdy, welcome in. Mike Luna, welcome in. Simulacron, welcome in. Original Flying Circus, the great Flying Circus, welcome in. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Patrick Glenn, welcome in. Don C, welcome in. Raven, welcome in. All you guys, Big Kevin, E.T., Travel Freely, Mike Luna, all of you, welcome in. All right. So, what do we got going on tonight? Let's talk about White Boy, welcome in. White Boy 1499. Is that really you, White Boy? Let's see if that's really you. Yeah, I guess it is. Holy shit. Frank is very complex. Must be the DNA. Yeah, I think so. All right, last night the Steelers lost, so the Patriots will be playing the Texans at 3 p.m. Sunday. So that'll be a football day. Frank can have the airways all to himself. Fucking hilarious. Let's talk about hypocrisy. Okay. I've heard this guy get down on Big E one of the so-called high roaders for having a girlfriend and a wife. Okay. Now, I always say if you're going to take the moral high road, which Frank has been doing lately, then take a look at your own backyard. You're living with a fucking married woman that has 8 children. What example is that setting for her children? Please help me out, Frank. I mean, seeing how I'm just a bitter old man and I have a lot to say, and you're not really protected 15,000 miles away. Never said I was protected, Frank. Here's what I hate fucking dipshits like you who try to put words in my mouth. Dips, dipshits like you have never met me, don't know what my lifestyle is. And yes, I never put family on YouTube. I never talk about where I go, what I do on YouTube. That's called OPSEC, operational security. All right. People don't know where you are. You don't have a problem. See? Because people like you, Frank, are sira ulo, and that means crazy. Okay. No, that's a real Bama. Fake Bama. Okay. Now we got another one. Freedom 048. Go let's see, let's go to channel. Okay, that's a fake channel. And it's got 84 subscribers. Well, it was done in 2018. So it could be fake. I don't know. All right. But I'm not playing sleuth all evening here. So Frank seems to know about all my life. He thinks I smoke, I drink, and I'm in a wheelchair. Well, you keep thinking that, Frank. That's okay. Welcome in, Chasing Tail. Yes, Chasing Tail. He is very delusional. All right, so if you if you look at it, you know, I don't care what your lifestyle is. Like, I don't give a shit what Big E's lifestyle is. That's his lifestyle. Me and Big E have actually talked about it on my show. But when you have the same kind of lifestyle of Big E and you chastise him, then you're a fucking hypocrite. Okay. And prove me wrong. Okay. Prove me wrong. It's a fake Popeye. Okay. Yeah, I believe it is a fake. Okay, white boy, you just relax. I know you only got so much time on that phone. You can pretty much say what you want to say here. But, so that's one instance of hypocrisy. All right. Now, here's some more hypocrisy for you. He files a lawsuit against Barry for calling, because Barry called him a pedophile, called him a coward. Okay. But yet, he's in Philippines breaking the Philippine law. He's calling me a coward. He's doxing me. Okay. I've never doxed him. I've never gave his address out. Other people have done that. Not me. Okay? But I'm the hateful person. I'm the bitter person. The only thing I have done to Frank was shown you his videos where he's doing quite questionable and really some nasty shit. What have I shown you? I've shown you he's singing to an 8-year-old boy about another man's penis. That's grooming. That's pedophile behavior. See? And Barry owes 250,000 pesos for telling the truth that it's pedophile behavior. Barry called him a pedophile. Okay? And Frank, I am right. There's nothing you can do about it. And I'll tell you why, Frank. I'll prove it to you. Number one, Frank, you don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. You're on number two, you're on whole departure. You're not a political prisoner. You wouldn't know a political prisoner if I put it up to your face. Okay. You're a fucking lunatic. Let's see. After that, you had that BI complaint that put you on, whole departure. What we used to call in the Navy legal hold. You are on legal hold, Frank. Okay. Until they get off their ass and decide to do something with you. And there's this little thing in Philippines that used to drive me up the wall. It's called Filipino time. Does everybody remember Filipino time? Please just say yes in the live chat. Remember Filipino time? They're going to take their sweet ass time. And they're going to take even more time now, Frank, because the only thing you have ever done lately is aggravate the Bureau of Immigration with all your manifestations, your lawyer complaints. You're actually nothing but a thorn in the ass of Bureau of Immigration. That's what you are. Okay. You have aggravated them. They're not going to tell you that you aggravated them, Frank. They're just going to remain quiet and just let you sit there and fucking suffer and suffer and suffer. That's what Filipinos do. You don't understand the culture, Frank. That's your first mistake, not understanding the culture. How actually Filipinos get even with you when you wrong them. Okay? They don't make a big scene like you, Frank. They just smile at you. And when your back is turned to you, they fuck you. Okay? And that's what's happening to you right now. You're getting fucked in the ass. Okay? And what's fucking you in the ass? All your complaints, your pissing, your moaning, and your groaning. Right? And they're going to keep fucking you in the ass till they're satisfied. And it takes a long time to satisfy a Filipino. Okay? So you're going to take it in the ass for quite a while, number one. All right? And I think it's just funny. It's hilarious. I mean, there's a group of people telling me, I hope this goes on forever, him in limbo. Because the reason why they hope it goes on forever is because they know, Frank, they know that it's aggravating the living shit out of you. We can hear it in your voice and the way you talk. Okay. And yes, Frank, you committed cyber libel against her. Okay. And Frank, you bullied her. You cyber bullied her. You threatened her. Yes, Frank, you called her a concubine and actually said Barry pays to have sex with her. That's calling her a whore. Okay? Because that's what whores do. You give them money, they let you fuck them. See? Very simple, Frank. Very simple, but you turned it, you turned it the other way and you said, I never actually said the word whore. It doesn't matter. You gave the definition of a whore and you applied it to Shah, which was wrong. the complaint is valid. And see, the court does not decide whether the complaint is valid or not, Frank. The commission does. A very small, select group. And it's not a judicial commission. It is a commission for the Bureau of Immigration, and they have the sole right to make the decision, and the courts cannot interfere. So, Frank, you are so fucked 3 ways to Sunday. It's pathetic. Okay. Your time is over, Frank. They're going to leave you in limbo. You're going to have to eat that shit sandwich. And if you think using this little ploy and trying to obfuscate by talking about like Heidi, Philippine antics, this other guy, Slim, and you just keep saying, well, you know, um, there are other people deserve it, not me. No, you cannot obfuscate like that. You are part of that group. You are right in there with Heidi and George. You are right in there with that guy Slim character. And if you think you could put the spotlight on them so things cool down on you, wrong answer. I'm here to shine that white hot spotlight right on you, Frank. So everybody knows what a fucking dick you are. And you are a dick, Frank. You are a fucking pedophile, Frank. Hey? You are a mean, nasty fucking person, Frank. There's not a nice bone in your fucking body. You have no empathy for anyone or anything. Please do not try to feign that you're a good guy. It just, you can't pull it off. Okay. You've been a dick so long. And everybody here in my live chat fucking knows it. Okay. And I'll show you what a dick you are right now. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. I got 24 votes on this poll. All right. And is Shaw's BI complaint valid? They noticed I used the word complaint and didn't mix it up with a case or any judicial nonsense you always talk about. 96% said yes, 4% said no. So you must have come over and clicked on no. So again, Frank, you cannot claim moral superiority over Eric, over Jay the real deal. When you are living with a married woman who has 8 children, right? You can't do it. It's hypocritical. If you go, tell you what, Frank, what you should do is kick Gilda and the kids out, okay? And go find a single woman to live with you. And then, only then, will I have any respect for you. And then, only then, I will tell you you can claim moral superiority over Eric and the women he's with. But Frank, see, none of that ever fucking bothered me. Not in the least. That's Eric's lifestyle. I don't give 2 shits about it. But when you're sitting there crying about this person, that person breaking laws, you're an overstayer. You're breaking the law. I don't care how it came about. You're still breaking the law. You're an overstayer, Frank. Hey, number one. You're married. You're not married and you're living with a married woman. Number two, that's breaking Philippine law. It doesn't matter that the husband don't care. You're still breaking the law. Okay. You've committed cyber libel on multiple people on YouTube. And here's where your hypocrisy comes in again. You filed cyber libel against Barry for calling you a pedophile when actually you are a pedophile. Hey, you are just using the system to make people fucking miserable and keep yourself busy. What you should be doing, you should be getting up at 0500 every morning, go and take a walk on the beach. See the sun come up, pick up some shells, okay? Put down the tea that you pollute with 3,000 vitamins and matcha and honey and turmeric and cinnamon, quit fucking your system up with all that garbage, okay? H2O, Frank, clean H2O, okay? Flush out your fucking system. Quit eating that processed food from S&R, okay? Quit doing that. Go down to the wet market, get yourself some local fish. Eat good. And it's cheaper at the local market. And, a cheap cocksucker like you likes to save a peso. There you go. White boy, things are not going to cool down. I had a chance to speak to the commissioner about my fine and deportation. I also asked him about Shaw complaint. The commissioner knows all about it. Very well, white boy. I wish you all the best of luck. But let's see, Mike Fisher, welcome in. I think he's finally figured out that he picked the wrong time in history to be a troublemaker in the Philippines. Well, see, here's the thing. You could go all the way back to New York, Mick. He's been a troublemaker. He was a troublemaker in Seattle. He's a troublemaker in Hawaii. Wherever this guy goes, he's in some kind of fucking trouble. Period. Eh? Period. And he has the balls to say that I say hateful things. No, the only thing I do is display his actions, and those actions are hateful. I'm waiting for the Locked Up Abroad series series of expats in the Philippines edition. Well, Christmas is 12 months away, dude. 12 months away. And Barry's been locked up for 992 days. Straight up, man. Straight up. Exactly, Mike Lunar. He's been doing this shit all his life. Okay? And it's sad to see. Okay? And he sits there on foreign soil and he insults the president of the United States. He talks about the ICE shooting in Minneapolis. He has no fucking clue. No clue whatsoever. This guy is so low information, it's fucking ridiculous. Okay. And on top of it, he doesn't vote. Well, in my book, you don't vote. You don't have a say so. Okay. Because you've given up your constitutional right to have a say so in this country when you do not vote. And I will not have any respect what you for you whatsoever, period. Okay? And it's as simple as that. That's correct, original flying circus. Trial of lies. I love when he told us one day that he's growing up, his family was jealous of him. Well, see, I don't really know all the dynamics between him and his family, but you know, we'll leave it at that. He never held patriotism in his heart, none whatsoever. Okay, none whatsoever, and it just amazes me, you know, what a buffoon he is. And what really amazes me, I don't think he realizes how much trouble he's in. Right? And if he had half a brain in his fucking head, he would turn around, tell his lawyer, help me get out of the country. Okay? If he was smart, he would find a way out of Philippines and get back to the United States. Because the longer he sticks around and tries to fight this, the more peril he's going to be in. And I can guarantee it. Because there's going to come the day when they're going to say, "Oh, let's go pick this asshole up, see how many pesos we could squeeze out of him." Okay? Because, dude, don't forget Mike Thornton, you know, so happy to be here with you. Dude, they held him for 6 months and he said, fuck it. He paid. He paid and he paid and he went home. Okay. Those 6 months in the Mandawi 6 hotel were very unpleasant for him. He's nothing like Barry. Barry can handle that standing on his head. That's who Barry is. Okay. But that's not Mike Thornton. Okay. And this shit, Frank, where you turn around and say, this one's gonna die, that one's gonna die, that one's got this, that one got that. Guess what, Frank? You're not a fucking doctor. You shouldn't even be talking like that. Okay? Don C. New and improved. He started the "You're all jealous" as a kid. Oh damn, I don't know what to heck now. I missed it. But you can't come on here, Frank, and point the finger at others when you're doing the same shit. Okay. You're no better than Slim. You're no better than Jay. You're no better than fucking dipshit travel. You're no better than any of those guys. The only difference between you and them is you got caught. You got fucked. Okay. And now you're going to have to eat that shit sandwich. And I strongly suggest you take it one bite of a time. Okay. And please, if you're going to bash me, at least be you know, be be epic. Be charismatic about it. Eh? Like you used to. I mean, tonight I was so disappointed. I mean, it's like it was like watching a JV football team, and you know, be professional next time, okay? Be up. really get into it when you bash my ass, okay? Really get into it when you dox me, okay? And again, there you're doing something that's illegal in Philippines and in the United States. You're doxing me. Uh-huh. Paul Caldwell is the guy that Mark Thornton was on the cruise ship, scammer who passed away. Oh, okay. Uh-huh. And so let's see. Don C. We are jealous of the life of a 71-year-old. But yeah, Frank, you got to stop with the hypocrisy. Number one, okay? You got to stop projecting. Number two, okay? Number three, you got to find a way off those medications. Okay. And I'll tell you why. You really need to start weaning yourself off them because when they come pick you up and they slap you in bill bid with Barry, dude, you're not going to get any medication in there. And see, Gilda's not your wife. Remember that big lie? You said Gilda's your wife. This went on for what, 2, 3 fucking years till finally they wrestled you into a corner and you had to admit that Gilda's not your wife. But Gilda ain't gonna come visit you. She can't. Only family can come visit you, Frank. And guess what, Frank? You ain't got no family. Hey, it's like I told you, those kids in Gilda are not your family, Frank. They're bought and paid for. Okay? They just tolerate you. That's why they leave the dirty dishes in the sink. That's why they leave their clothes everywhere. Okay? Because it's like mind over matter. Those kids don't mind, Frank, because you don't matter. Okay? And once you figure that out, you're going to feel a whole lot better. Okay? I can guarantee it. I am jealous of a scammer quit at 42 and lived off the country he hates. Exactly. Exactly. So, dude, Frank, how many people I got in the live chat here? I don't even know. I got 36 people in the live chat, and I give you a dime to dollar. 99.9% of them pay fucking taxes. Okay. The other percentage is probably foreigners, like who live outside United States and they all pay your fucking paycheck that you get once a month from Social Security. They all pay it. You owe them a debt of gratitude. You should be like on your knees, bowing to everybody in my live chat and saying, I am not worthy. That's what you should be doing. Right? Because, dude, you haven't earned it. You've never earned anything. You're just a little entitled prick. That's what you are. Yes, and Raven Knight, he is a big time libtard. Period. No paper plates, man. And Frank, what's with the paper plates, dude? Fucking, you know, Frank, it's okay that they turn you into a yaya. So just go do the dishes, clean their dirty underwear, and be thankful you're not in jail right now. Okay? Oh, the dogs shit in their own yard. Okay. Guaranteed. They're too lazy to walk over to the next yard to take a shit. But that's what I got for you tonight, guys. And it's been great talking to you. Remember, next weekend, Patriots and the Texans, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hey, and I want to thank you all for coming in. You have a beautiful evening. It was great talking to you. And God bless you all. This is Popeye One. I'm out of here.